Warriors, we know things go pear-shaped on the field for them. It's an ongoing discussion, isn't it, Webby, between NRL HQ and the Warriors to keep them in here in Australia. How long have we got them for at the moment that we know about?
They've made a commitment, the Warriors, to Peter V'landys and Andrew Abdo on Saturday that they're going to stay for at least another 2 weeks. The NRL are walking on eggshells around the Warriors at the moment because they've worried that if they do pack up and go, that the ramifications are quite considerable. They'll have to renegotiate a broadcast deal, and they certainly don't want to be doing that. They're also don't want to really let this get out there, but they feel like they're giving the Warriors' families plenty of support. Probably not that well known, but they're giving financial support to some degree to some of the families back in New Zealand. And they're also giving financial support, and it's in the budgets for them to be here in lockdown in Australia as well with those that can. So the NRL feel like they're doing everything they can for the Warriors to stay, but they're concerned that in 2 weeks' time, particularly if things will continue to go south in terms of their performances, that it's going to be hard to convince some to stay.
What about the competition? What would it mean for the competition if they were to leave? The competition continue as normal?
It would have to, and it would just be a buy. There's no other choice if they ended up going.
Is that feasible, Gus, to have a competition without the Warriors for half of the football season?
They're going to have to, unless we all donate a couple of players and put them in Warriors jerseys just to get the game on, which, sounds a bit ludicrous now I've said it. It's a difficult time, and I think we all sympathise with the Warriors. But there's a lot of people in life worse off.
100%.
They're playing the game they love, they're being paid, they're professional sports people. I know it's a strain being away from your family, but it's not for that long, and all the support's being given to your family back at home. I just think, they've got to dig in a little bit longer. And we're all really thankful. We all understand what you're going through. No one's criticising them about performances. They're sort of getting a pass there. I think what's made it worse is the sacking of the coach when they least expected it, because that sort of had morale dip a little bit too, and then they've been drubbed on the weekend. But, for the sake of the competition and the game that they love, and I know it's a sacrifice, but you just got to deal with it. You've got to get on and do it.
I think it's bigger. I know there's always someone worse off though, Gus. It doesn't matter what you got, what's going on in your life. There's always someone worse off than you. But to them, there's nothing worse than what's going on at the moment. They're away from their family, away from their loved ones. There's a lot of guys there earning good money. I've got no doubt about that. 10 or 15 guys are probably earning great money. But what about the player 25 to 30 who are just over here away from their family, probably earning 80 grand? It's tough for them. I could totally understand why they want to go home. Them guys, two of us are checking guys like that. Yeah, different. But I mean, I sympathise with them totally. I didn't know about the grants that were going on. I think that's great from the NRL. It's good to hear that.
I think the NRL can't do any more than what they have. Yeah. And I think there's a lot of consternation from the Warriors players about the Trans-Tasman bubble that hasn't opened up, so their family can go back.
Were they told when they first come over?
They said they're going to work.
Within 2 weeks, their family could come over?
No, I think they were told that the NRL will do as much as they can to make sure that happens. But, Peter V'landys and Abdo have done so well to get exemptions for border restrictions and everything else to work in the NRL's favour, just so we could get back on May 28. They can't get an international border opened up for the sake of the Warriors. If they could, they could, but if they can't, they can't.
A real quick one on their coaching situation. So Todd Payten's the assistant there. The Warriors made it clear apparently they want Craig Fitzgibbon, who's assistant at the Roosters. He's made it clear he's not going to leave the Roosters.
He's already told Trent Robinson and Nick Politis last week that he's not going anywhere. Okay. He is a well-paid and highly appreciated coach, assistant coach at the Roosters, so I can't see Fitzy going anywhere.
Okay, out with the cardboard cutouts, in with the crowds. Webby, how's this going to work? How many people, etc., etc.?
So I got a bit of a rundown from the NRL today. So crowds of 25% of capacity allowed in as of this weekend. It means that groups will be separated by 2 empty seats, which I think they should just bring this in from now on, so I don't have to ever sit near anyone at the football ever again. Then there's going to be, everyone will get a row to themselves. So you can sit with your family.
Oh, glorious.
You can sit with your family.
No spilling beer on anyone, and
that's it.
Works well. Okay, so that's that.
It's great for members, the ones that have paid their membership.
So,
it's only members at this stage.
Members right now.
Great for members.
You mentioned at the top of the show, Corey Horsburgh, you're in love with him. The tears on the field on the weekend.
Everyone has been asking me what's happened to Corey Horsburgh, and I've hammered the Raiders about it. It's about nothing more than the fact that he is an emotional, fiery, red-headed forward who hates being injured and hates having to walk off the field. And that's exactly what's happened
They-
here. So
they-
there was
they
no
went after him.
subtext to it. They went after him. But
They went after him and got him.
There was no subtext to it. But I have to say, I love it. You know, we're sitting there talking about players before laughing after the game. He's not laughing after the game.
He's out 3 months, isn't he?
That's a bad one.
Yeah, in that tackle, yeah. So he's going to be out for 3 months, maybe miss the season, may not come back. So
I think he was upset because he wanted to get square. He
did.
He wanted to get up and play on, and he had to leave the field.
Yeah, he realised his
was
foot was
upset
no
about it.
good.
Love it.
But don't you love that?
Absolutely.
Some people are being
Absolutely.
critical of him. I reckon it was like one of the iconic moments of the season so far.
People ask what you look for when you go out scouting players or looking to recruit players. The one thing, doesn't matter what age they are, you want competitiveness. You want the people that love to be competitive and they love physical confrontation and they love collision, because ultimately they're the ones you want in your team. You know, the talent and the skill and all that is a factor, but that competitive, that sheer competitiveness and loving the battle and loving the collision and loving the fight, you've got to find ones that do that.